There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen
incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down. There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence.
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Regala and her rebels.
Even now, she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Oh gosh. All right. I don't know. Man, it is so hard to trust this person. Like, there's no way I can. But yeah. I don't know. Everything is coming together. Like, we've had multiple enemies throughout this game. Like, we have Silence, we have Regala, and we have the Zenith, right? And I don't know. It seems like the Zenith are supposed to be the main enemy. And Silence is also bad, but it looks like we're gonna have to work with him again, just like the first game. And I don't know. We thought we could trust Silence in the first game, and then he ended up turning on us. So why wouldn't that happen with Hilda here? I don't know.
My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
If you like.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be. But her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it.
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes, though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
Well, she felt like you tossed her aside.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems harsh, but you must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Oh, great.
Start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First, from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries. Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information. I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
I mean, it kind of explains why she wasn't, like, why she never fit in with the Zenith, the other Zenith. Like she said, they were always suspicious of her and everything, and I guess because she has a background as a spy, that would make sense. But then it also makes me suspicious, because what if she's acting as a spy for the Zenith right now? I don't know.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a berth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were, certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying, a pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again, but this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now, finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Far Zenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation, a passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
Here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much. He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
Regala's only interested in killing Hekarro and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hekarro.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tanakh are cut down outside. So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Liz was everything she was. I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that from the moment we met.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning, a touchy subject in those days, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step, an AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling. First Varl. Now Hikaru and the Tenakth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tenakth survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it. What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me?
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long. You should have killed me.
No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise, okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge.
Then I think it can be done.
I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Sylens' army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister. Will be Sylens' only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tenakt. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise. So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring Sylens to the table.
Not if. When. Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Where are we? Guess we're down here. Okay.
I think I can override you. Guess there are more cauldrons out there.
Very well. I think that's a shield gone. But I just completely got rid of everything on him. Alright. Oh, there's more. I was not prepared for this. No! Ouch. Didn't I get rid of one of their shield generators? guess the shield generator is somewhere else.
Hands
Oh,
subsided.
Alright. So, it looks like we have a plan in place. We don't know what that plan really is, other than probably defeating Regala's army. And
Just to
then,
let you know, I'm now patched into your focus network.
Great. I take it the other Zeniths can't hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering. I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood.
oh, I did not expect this to come up. So, Horus energy cells, Aloy, all FAS BOR7 Horus combat platforms included EMP cells as part of their arsenals. Acquiring and deploying one shouldn't be difficult, but we'll get to that in a moment. Bigger issue is activation. Barring extraordinary circumstances, such as interference from Hades as you experienced last year, all Horus munitions are inert, deactivated by Minerva's decryption regime during the 21st and 22nd centuries. To render these EMPs operational, we will have to skirt those efforts. I devised a way to do so without causing unwanted repercussions, a bespoke code signal that should enable all and only such devices in the vicinity. I've transferred it to your focus. All you have to do now is send it out. A Zero Dawn communications relay should do the trick. I believe you refer to them as tallnecks. I've chosen one for you that is centrally located and now marked in your HUD. I wonder if that's the one that we couldn't go to, the one that was locked. Probably. Simply override it as you would normally, and my signal will automatically transmit. Every EMP on every Horus within a 500-kilometer radius should come online. On to acquisition and deployment. Horus units manufactured EMPs in their fabrication bays, then subsequently loaded them onto their multi-purpose appendages, or tentacles, if you like, because the cells were designed to be detachable, enabling them to be fired or thrown at enemy forces. Their fitting should be quite light. The only way to attain them will be through the air, but it sounds like you already have that covered. When you reach one, it should come loose with a hearty yank, rust, or corrosion notwithstanding. There is no need to prime the cell, as they are designed to trigger on impact. Once you have one, all you need to do is drop it in the target area. I'm sure Regala and her minions will enjoy the experience. Okay. So, let's see what we have here. So we are on Wings of the Ten, which is the mission we need to do in order to move on to these locked side missions. And in the Gemini thing, we ended up getting a little hologram of like a bird. So I'm guessing we're gonna get like the ability to override birds, maybe. We just fast travel over to the base. And we move on from there. So I'm guessing we're gonna like be able to override a bird, or maybe we'll get, I don't know. That's my guess. And then we could use it to fly, and that's probably how we're gonna get to, you know, the tall neck thing, and then maybe we're gonna like drop an EMP on Regala's army. All the machines are gonna be disabled, and it's like, well, now you can't fight. And then Silence is gonna be like, oh no, my army's gone. But Aloy apparently can still fight against the Zenith, so Maybe he'll help us. But I don't know. I feel like he'll be very hesitant to help us.
When you're wounded, you have to strike back. Draw blood.
Hey! Can I get 1 damn minute to mourn my friend?
Regala is going to slaughter my tribe to overthrow Hikaru. The Zeniths have Beta and Gaia. We can't sit around wallowing in our losses.
Kotallo's right. We must fight.
Oh, all right. So what are we gonna do, huh? Take on all of Regala's rebels?
Not to mention the Zeniths. What can we even do? Throw ourselves at their base?
Something like that. So...
After we lost contact with you, we regrouped and went to Gemini. What happened? The recording we found on Varl's focus cut off when that Zenith, Eric...
The Zeniths were tracking Hephaestus. When Gaia trapped it in Gemini, they knew where we were. After Varl tried to stop them. They took Beta and Gaia. I only survived because one of the Zeniths turned against the others to save me.
One of them? Well... at least we didn't lose you too. So what do we do now?
We're going to defeat the Zeniths. And get Beta and Gaia back. But first, we're going to stop Regala.
How?
Back in Gemini, Beta gave me a gift. There's something I need to do first to make it work, but it could put an end to the bloodshed.
Word is, Regala's readying her army for an all-out assault on the Grove. I need to be there.
I know. Go. Stand with Hikaru. And keep an eye on the sky.
Strike true as the 10.
The rest of you, whatever preparations you need to make, upgrades, resupplies, get on it. It won't be long before we take the fight to the Zeniths.
We'll be ready, Aloy. And when you're ready, meet me outside the east exit. I'd like to have a word in private.
Even when things are darkest, you're the flame that lights the way forward.
Just tell me one thing. Am I gonna get to smash up a bunch of Zenith bastards?
We all are.
Good.
Before I
better.
do anything else, I should check on Zoe. It sounded important.
Okay. Yeah, I hope we get to beat the shit out of the Zeniths as well. I want them to suffer. I don't want to see them die in a cutscene. I want to do the killing. Because... well, you see what they did.
Over here, Aloy. We would come out here to tend to the garden. Sometimes I needed fresh air. Other times we would simply sit and watch the sunrise. So when we returned from Gemini, it seemed fitting that he be laid to rest here. Now he can always look out at Plainsong and... further east, to the Nora Sacred Lands.
He would have liked that.
He often spoke of his sister, Vala. He said she used to gather her favorite golden blooms and tie them to her spear. Their mother called it useless, but Vala was stubborn.
Yeah, she seemed like that.
It wasn't easy. But I tracked down the flower. Gathered its seeds. As verdant limbs wither, roots rot in snow, still the seed rises, as certain as stone. From death follows new life. So it is with the land. And so it is with us. I'm with child, Aloy.
Oh no, I knew it.
I was going to tell him when he got back from Gemini. Instead, one day, I'll bring our child here. We'll sit among the blooms and watch the sunrise.
I never got to tell him. To thank him. For saving my life, sure, but also for not giving up on me.
He always knew.
Goodbye, Varl. I promise to look after them. I'll try to visit again when I can. But for now, I need to go to the fabrication terminal to install the new override on my spear. Then I'll use it on a sunwing and get ready for an entrance Regala will never forget.
All right.
Hey, Erend.
Yeah?
I was thinking we could spar for a bit. When you have the time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
Might be a way to deal with my anger.
Yeah, beating the crap out of me makes you feel better. I'm all for it. I thought you were gonna go fight some Tanakh.
I wanted to check in with you first.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm just, picking up the pieces like everyone else. I'll be there when you need me.
I never doubted that.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're back.
So am I. I know you hate waiting, but you'll have to stay back here a little longer.
Well, you go do what you gotta do, but are you okay? It's not just Varl we lost. Beta's gone. I almost lost it when I realized my sister had been taken by Dervahl back in the Sundom.
I'm getting her back. That's all that matters.
Understood.
Do you think Zoe will be okay?
I don't think anyone's ever okay after losing the one they love. I can't tell you she's handling it better than I ever did. That keeps the rest of us level-headed.
I need to get going.
You better get there before Katalo tries to take on Regala's entire army by himself. Yeah, do me a favor. Don't go disappearing on us again.
I'll do my best.
To be fair, this time, it wasn't really my fault. So, yeah.
Think you can manage things here while I go help Akaro?
Stopping Regalla's war. It'll help us take the fight to the Zeniths?
Yes.
Then I'll make sure the rest of us are ready upon your return.
Okay. We'll be facing Spectre drones soon. Erend and Katalo have fought them before, so...
Already asked them to run us through some combat drills. Aaron moves like an oaf, but he's good with that hammer.
How's Erend doing?
For a moment there, he thought he'd lost both you and Varl. But he never truly succumbed to despair. Guess that Oseram's stubbornness comes in handy sometimes.
I know we both want to make the Zeniths pay for what they've done, but once we infiltrate their base, our priority will be to get Gaia and Beta out of there.
Don't worry. I won't go seeking revenge like some blood-crazed Tenakth. Wherever your arrow strikes, mine will follow.
Let's hope we hit our targets. I need to get going.
Whatever you plan on doing against Regalla, you better return to us in one piece.
I'll try. You look busy.
My studies are a good distraction, especially after Cauldron Gemini. Varl, Beta, Gaia, gone. And that's just the beginning. The Zeniths want to rob us of our future, too.
We won't let that happen. So, all of the tribes here are new to you?
Yes, I've been studying up on them. The most fascinating one thus far has been the Tenakth, an entire culture based on the holograms of an ancient museum. There's much they've misinterpreted, not unlike the Quen. But still, there's a nobility to what they've become. They're honorable and fearless.
And deadly. How are you holding up?
Varl's loss is heavy on everyone's mind. I didn't know him well, but I can see how much he meant to the others. Zoe and Erend seem to have taken to it the hardest, but I don't quite know what to say to them.
They need time to sort through it.
And what about you? Will time heal your wounds?
I don't know. I try not to think about it. Seems like everyone's ready to take the fight to the enemy.
Katalo more than most. If I were this Regalla, I wouldn't want to cross him on the battlefield.
Regalla still has a lot of machines on her side.
That's where you come in, I suspect.
If my plan works. Tilda, the Zenith that Beta mentioned, she was the one who rescued me.
Did she say why?
She knew Elizabeth Sobek. Seems to think helping me is honoring her in some way. She was willing to share information on both Silence's plans and the other Zeniths.
But you still don't trust her. Where I come from, the more valuable the knowledge shared, the higher the price extracted. I'd be careful if I were you, Aloy.
What was Leviathan again?
A flood control system back in the Great Delta. It was built by Eileen Sasaki, another of our ancestors. If we can acquire the data on it, we might be able to fix the system back home. Then my sister, my parents, other families won't have to live in fear of their homes washing away when the long rains come.
Right. And to find it, we need to head back to San Francisco. I should get going. Be ready to go on my signal, okay?
I won't let you down.
I know. And I haven't forgotten about the data on Leviathan. I'll let you know when I make it back to landfall.
Thank you, Aloy.
Alright, where's Katalo? No, you did not just get a new dialogue thing.
Oh.
Tilda's the one who rescued me.
Did she say why she's...
She knew Elizabeth, so she was willing.
But where the higher the... I'd be...
I have to go
You see,
now. May the ancestors...
why did they do that to me? They're like, hey, there's something new over here. Oh wait, it's just the line I just heard, like, not even 2 minutes ago. Paul's room.
You know, we've never played Machine Strike together.
Oh no. I got enough trouble with Katalo, always kicking my ass.
I don't know. I just don't know this place. Do I get to reflect on anything? Looks like I do.
So Sylens' plan was to trick Regala into sacrificing her tribe in a hopeless battle against the Zeniths. It's so... heartless. Hikaru, Deka, Katalo, countless others. I won't let their lives be thrown away.
I just remembered Katala's probably not here.
When it looks impossible, look deeper. And then fight like you can win. I will, Rost. Now and always. Focus. It's Varl's. I used to think no Nora would ever accept one. But Varl did. Even when he was overwhelmed. He refused to let me push him away. I failed Varl at Gemini. I should have pushed harder. I should have done more. I'd give anything to have him back.
Varl did a lot for us. Like, I think he is the reason why we have gotten this far.
Before I forget, I wanted those.
Because if you think about it, he's the one who got us to learn how to accept help from others. Like, Aloy
There's
was
Gwen stuff in
always
here now.
a lone wolf.
Must be all of us.
Oh look, something here. Oh man. Alright, I'll go back to my thought after this. If I remember. Common language. Ever since the expedition landed and we encountered barbarians, sorry Tanocht, a question has been gnawing at me. Given the massive distance between here and the Great Delta, how is it possible that we all speak the same language? I mean, the legacy tells us that the ancestors had many languages. How did it all get reduced to one? For questions like these, it's handy to have a friendly superintelligence around. I love Gaia. She's so nice and patient, even when I can't stop talking and bombard her with overlapping queries. And while she can't explain everything I ask her, for this one she had the answer. Apparently, the Zero Dawn system was designed to release people into the world as young adults, after being educated via the Apollo database. I sure wish I could have gone to that school. Language instruction was supposed to be a big part of the coursework. Students were to be encouraged and to learn many languages, thus keeping alive the vibrant linguistics of the old world. But when Ted Farrell erased Apollo, he makes me so mad. Zero Dawn reverted to its default language, and that's all the kids in the Cradle facilities ever got. So our ancestors, I mean our tribal ones, not the legacy ones, all started with the same speech and never got to learn any more. Mystery solved. Yet another rotten, completely unfair thing that shithead, beg my pardon, did to the world. Yeah. That actually explains a lot. Or, that's a pretty good explanation about why we're able to talk to anybody in this world. Like, you know, usually, if you're gonna travel around the world and stuff, everybody speaks a different language, there can be communication barriers and all that stuff. But in this game, you know, it doesn't matter where you go. I know it all takes place in, like, the US, so it's not that surprising that everybody speaks English, but that does explain that, you know, even if we were to go to a different country in this world, they probably would speak the same language as us because there is only one language left.
Of course.
I guess.
Thank you.
So,
Don't mention it.
that's kind of cool. Kind of cool that they put that in there. The data point. I don't think it's cool that there's only one language left, but I mean, it does make communication easier, I guess, but still, it's nice to have, like, multiple languages and stuff. Anyway, going back to Varl, like, Aloy was always a lone wolf type character. She, like, obviously it's because she was raised as an outcast. She was never fully accepted in the Nora. So it makes sense that she would do a lot of things on her own. And also she doesn't want others to get hurt. She probably doesn't want them to slow her down. Now, there's a lot of reasons why. But Varl eventually made us realize that, hey, you know, Aloy is trying to save the world, but she can't do it all on her own. That's just too much of a burden to bear. There's so much stuff you have to do. I mean, yeah. It's just, she needs help from her friends. Or at least she needs to accept the help from her friends. And, yeah. Varl is the one who made us realize that. And it's the reason why we have this whole team with us here. Like, obviously Varl saved our life, you know, after the first encounter with the Zenith.
We're taking those space lights
But
down.
here, he helped us create this place, basically. And like I said, he made us realize that, you know, having your friends there to help you is a good thing. And then anytime a new member would come, he would make them feel welcome. He'd teach them, you know, what they need to do and all that stuff. And especially with Beta, like,
There it is.
he was able to talk to Beta because of his patience with people, you know? He's good at talking to people. He understands that, you know, not everybody is gonna act the same way. And he was just good at connecting with people. So he has done a lot for Aloy and this team, and really, hopefully, if our plan succeeds, the entire world. So, yeah. And I'm glad that he got a proper burial. I'm glad that, you know, we all had a chance to pay our respects. Because I thought once we got taken by the Zenith, I thought his, I thought he was just gonna be gone forever. Like, his body would be gone forever. He would never get a proper burial or anything, but no. Our friends found him and laid him to rest. So I'm happy about that. And apparently Zoe is pregnant with his child, so his legacy or his bloodline will live on, and hopefully his child will, you know, be a similar person to him. You know, one that's compassionate, caring, kind, and yeah. I think that's about it. And he has a nice view for the rest of eternity. Hopefully. So, rest in peace, Varl.